Chapter 5 of her Nakedness. Peter stared at the clock for the second time. He is unable to sleep. An hour has gone by after Adpa left his room, and all he could think about was her. Everything he saw was vividly playing over and over in his mind's eye. He sits up on his bed, runs his palm through his hair, then through his face. He repeats it, and out of frustration, looks up to the heavens and exclaims, "Lord, why? Why today of all days? Why give me this?" He pauses. "This vision," he continues. "All I think of is her." He stares at his manhood with hopelessness. "I've tried to pray, I've tried to read the Bible, I've tried to worship, watch a movie, watch news, so just to calm myself down, and yet all I see is her. It's her breasts, like two gazelles, sons of Solomon," he added slowly, then immediately snaps at himself. "Oh, so now you can remember verses, eh? This girl don't finish me." He falls backwards on his bed and stares at the ceiling. After a minute, he thinks to himself, "I can't be alone with these thoughts. I'm going over to Paul's house." With that, he gets up and dresses up. When he stepped out of his apartment, he heard Adpa's voice in her room, and his heart started racing, which contributed to how fast he locked his door and how fast he ran out of the building. Peter gets to Paul's house and Paul's door was locked. He isn't back from church yet, but Peter had a spare key, so he let himself in. Peter and Paul have been friends since high school. They didn't used to be in their first year, although they were dorm mates. An event occurred in which Paul saved Peter from being expelled, and that led to the beginning of their friendship. Peter lies on the bed trying to fall asleep at Paul's house too. About 30 minutes later, Paul arrives. He was startled that his door was unlocked. He opens the door, ready to pounce on whoever was inside, but sees Peter and just shouted immediately, "Peter, what in heaven's name are you doing here? I nearly killed you." "With what?" Peter said calmly, without even lifting his head. He was still lying with his back on the bed. "You don't want to know. You should have told me you were coming over. Today of all days, you see." Then Paul notices Peter's condition. He quickly taps on Peter's leg. My guy, you are turned on. Are you aware?" "I know. Is it not my body?" Peter said. "Is it the early morning scene?" Paul asked. "No," Peter replied strongly. "So, what are you thinking about so much that things are standing up? After all, you went for a half-night service. You did go, right?" Paul asked. "Yes, I did," Peter said slowly. "So what's up?" Paul asked again. "Some girl, Bill," Peter replied. "Of course it's some girl. What did she do?" Paul took a bottle of water to drink. "She was somehow naked in my room," Peter answered. Paul choked on the water he was drinking. So Peter added, "I mean, half naked. She had on a wet vest long enough to cover." Peter just stirred his hand over his hip. Paul managed to stop coughing to catch his breath. With his voice a little husky, he asked, and her chest?" Peter couldn't tell if Paul was teasing or just asking honestly. He shakes and turns his head to ignore Paul. "Well, how did she end up there?" Paul asked, and he took a chair to sit on. Peter sat up and narrated everything to Paul's amazement. "So, it was said doing some mistake?" Paul asked. "Well, do you believe her?" "Yes, I guess," Peter said. "And she's your next door neighbor, just close to your door like that?" Paul said. "Yep," Peter replied. "If I was someone else, I would say she has been handed to you on a silver platter. How is you cry?" Paul said. "I know, right?" Peter agreed. "But we are who we are," Paul said. "I know," Peter agreed again. "And you are sticking out in greater dimensions," Paul teased. "I know," Peter gets up in frustration. "Paul, you are not helping me. You need to help me calm down. We should talk about sports or something." "What kind of help can I give you? You came from the house like this. All the prayers you said didn't help. You had to wear 2 boxers and the jeans trousers to hide it. This thing can only come out through even go there. Peter snapped at Paul. And I don't want to talk about her. He pointed at him. But Paul said, we are going to talk about it. What's her name? I don't know. Never met her before. Peter answered reluctantly. But she's your next door neighbor, Paul said. Paul, you too, why? You know I started staying at my place some days ago. I was doing my master's, remember? Paul said, right. Well, what did you see? Tell me. And how long did you watch? Peter scratches his head, then runs his palm through his face. Enough for you to be registered in my skull. Peter pauses, then continued. All I want to do is to have her, and you are making me talk about her. What kind of pastor are you? Paul started laughing as he said, oh, so you want to sleep with her? You didn't let me finish what I was saying earlier. It's either sex or masturbation. Besides, we see a lot of half-naked ladies in town. This one is different. Everything was so close, and it was not a dream. And I'm not masturbating or having sex, Peter said. So, what are you going to do about it? Paul asked sincerely. Peter sighed and said, I don't know, man. I don't know. Then he plopped on the bed. Thank you for joining this great story. Please subscribe or follow to get updates on the next chapter. God bless you and be blessed.